How's it going, fellow Young Calves? Welcome to the Gaming Twin Show. This is clearly a very regular week. I am your host, Nick and/or Chuck, doing the Gaming Twin Show like I always do with my twin brother.
Lies.
The other one. Let's see. Am I Nick or Chuck? Oh, it looks like I'm Chuck today.
Oh my god. Hello guys. I hope you can hear us. I hope everything is functional and fine. Hopefully we're actually moving and we're actually here. It looks half decent on my Chromebook over here. I'm gonna slap that like button, to push us in that big old YouTube stream algorithm. Pop out my chat so I can stop looking at my face, and then I'm gonna have chat right there. Okay, we can definitely hear you all right.
I should probably do the same thing.
Perfect.
Hello,
guys. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Gaming Twin Show, part of the Young Calves Network. Ooh. Obviously, this is not the everyday stream. Chuck is out. He is away. He is MIA on vacation. Technically, I have not heard word of where he is, so he is technically MIA. But yes, Zach has decided to join me as my co-host in crime.
Glad
or rather,
to be here.
just this thing, yeah. Happy to get this thing functioning. It's a chore and a half, and I've actually entirely filled my 4K TV in front of me with just open windows and everything everywhere in chaos. So I think I'm equipped to do the show today. Starting off, let's open with some chat and such, and see where we may have caught. Okay, maybe I'm not going to scroll too far up, as that might be a little
Pac-Man's dad. I see Mondu.
Yeah, we got Azran. We saw Legend. I hope he's still here. Alicia, welcome. And of course, the good old T-Bab. Welcome, friend.
Welcome, guys.
Yeah, happy Thursday. What's this thing?
What up, Ice Sonic? Welcome.
Ice Sonic.
See, Mondu said, "What's that thing that's slapping Zach?"
Oh my god.
Too much.
Let me just say, Ice Sonic reminds me of the Ice Zone from Sonic 3. I don't know if it's related to that, but I like your name, and it makes me feel nostalgic. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Here, let me see. Okay, I'm glad you don't need Summer Stick, Chuck. I just made... Oh my god. I'm afraid we don't need Summer Stick, Chuck. How you guys been doing? Happy Thursday. Zach, have you been up to anything recently? Just curious.
Not particularly. I've been in some meetings about some cool stuff, as far as like career things go. But other than that, I haven't done anything crazy. I'm about to, when I say about to, I mean sometime in the next few days, watch Loki, because I haven't seen any of it, which normally I catch this stuff right when it drops.
Right.
But there's been a little too much going on to catch that, but that means I get to do the binge.
Absolutely.
So that's exciting.
I'm really excited about that show as well.
This is the first...
Go ahead.
Oh, what was that?
No, I'm just excited about watching Loki. I watched that first episode.
This is the first anything I've recorded. We're not Nick and Chuck, and my signal keeps cutting a little bit, so I'll hear you for a second and lose you. I think I have a slight delay compared to you.
Oh shoot,
and
gotcha.
So maybe if I disable streamer mode. Sorry, I apparently am dealing with a small technical difficulty.
It happens. Go ahead and get that sorted. I'm gonna read a comment here from Ice Sonic. Says
okay,
I can't
sweet.
wait for
I can hear you.
I can't wait for Skyward Sword HD tomorrow. I know the mixed emotions and drama of it, but still gonna get to play a new Zelda game. I missed Dungeons. Wind Waker HD was amazing, and I'm so jealous of you. Not because you're gonna play Skyward Sword as a remake. That game was, you know what? Forget it. You're about to play it. You're in for a great experience. But I have been dying to play Wind Waker. Specifically, Wind Waker HD is what I want to play because of that high contrast, that beauty, that glow, that ambience and everything added to the new edition of it. And I have it for the original GameCube. And I'm afraid to start playing it because I'm afraid any day, at some point... Whoa! Zach is zoomed out into the third dimension. How did that happen? Zach, I think it grabbed the wrong window for you. No. Oh, I see. Okay, it cut out.
Cool.
Oh,
The video is live, right?
The video is live, yes. Here, 1 second. I gotta cut out your
That
frame.
4 error on me.
Gotcha. Okay. Happens to the best of us.
So, really quick, guys. This amazing green screen invisibility that I have going on
This
here.
is bananas. Here, go ahead and let me just, I'm gonna toggle this thing.
This is the best. Okay.
Here, let's
so,
just,
and then
boop.
When you toggle yours, I'll toggle mine.
Yeah, so yeah.
Discord was destroying the quality of the green screen and across my chat to Nick's. So what we decided to do, since Discord was destroying it a little bit, was I have my green screen on, and I used my green screen to turn on a green background behind my green screen.
And it worked pretty flawlessly.
We are double green screening it up with me right now.
This is green screenception at the moment.
This is my real background. And this is the background that I'm keying out this background to this one. And then Nick is keying out that one for you guys.
It's pretty ridiculous.
So some inception going on in here.
And yeah, that's the thing. And it worked really well. It worked very well. I was actually rather surprised. Zach came up with that idea very much on the fly, and it worked. It was like that. I'm like, cool. Okay. That really simplifies it. Here, let me see. Legend says, same, I'll be getting it soon. You know, I am so envious of the people who haven't played, like, some of those older Zelda games and stuff, and now that they're bringing some of them back, and now you can jump into it. You guys have something amazing that you're walking into. And I'm really jealous, because you only get that first time once with all these different games and stuff. It's like someone saying, like, they haven't played, like, the first Last of Us game or something. It's like, well, you're in for a treat.
You're in for a surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. Monty says the drama.
I know it's like,
go ahead.
You know, I feel like with Skyward Sword specifically too, the biggest reason people didn't like it, which, you know, I'm not going to force my opinions on anyone, but when it comes to gaming, we collectively can kind of be big babies sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
And with Skyward Sword, you know, the Wii was not the most precise control scheme. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you could only use that right there, it didn't matter what the story was. It didn't matter what this and that was, what the characters were, how this happened, how it affected this all.
Hot garbage.
That right there was enough that was going to make people hate no matter what happened. That was going to make people say, oh, the story is not good. Oh, this isn't good. Oh, that's not. You know, so for those of you who are going in, if you like motion controls, that's going to be awesome. But if you don't, you'll get to experience it how you want to. So I think you are in for a treat. And,
you know, let me just be one of those salty people. I remember back in the day, around that launch of the Wii, maybe it wasn't exactly launch, but Twilight Princess released. And they had some copies on GameCube, some copies on Wii. And we got it for the Wii because it would have, like, the bloom effects and everything. It looked really cool and stuff. And of course, it had the motion controls, but I wasn't so thrilled with the motion controls shortly after, but it was still a lot of fun. But it was interesting because apparently those copies of Twilight Princess on the GameCube are relatively rare. Nintendo didn't make very many of them. They did make them, but they didn't make very many, so they're a little hard to come by. And this is the same case for the Wii Breath of the Wild copy, or the Wii U, I'm sorry, where it was really unique because one of the stark differences between those things when they launched is they said the one thing you're losing on this cartridge versus the disc is that cover image, where the cover image of Breath of the Wild was, like, beautiful and big, and it's like that Ancients poster right on the disc, like, all in this high quality, and then you look at the little Switch cartridge, it's about like this big. You're like, huh, you kind of lose that art just a little bit. Oh my god.
That's funny. Yeah, and it, you know, I bet the Wii U version tastes better too, because I know the Switch version did not taste good at all.
Jeez, listen to you. That's a fun little trivia bit for another day. They put a bitter agent in the cartridge, just ridiculous. Okay, we're going to be opening. Okay, let's hope audio doesn't, like, autoplay on any of these things I open. Hope to God not. And we'll say no to that. And we'll say no to that. All right, people. Honestly, for what I've been doing, I haven't been doing much at all. I've been panic setting up the stream for this week because, as you guys know and know me well, I'm not usually the one who's streaming it or sourcing it, you know. But I can do it every now and again, and it becomes utter chaos and everything, but the job gets done, so there's that. Okay, we're going to open with our first little bit of news, and this is in the quick news and updates section. Woo! So here, let me... Dang it. Why does it keep... Oh, shoot. Okay. And he's back!
I'm not sure why this is happening, but...
Well,
I'm here.
It was a quick redemption. I now sorted out what happened, so every time you start zooming out into the negative dimension, I just have to wait for you to pop back up, and then I click on your window, and it's all good. So it's that quick of a setup. That's that quick of a fix. Yes, into the void, indeed. Okay, so starting up, people. We're going into quick news and updates. First little thing. Update for Ghostwire Tokyo. They are delaying until early 2022. Not exactly exciting, but you know, this allows them to have a little bit extra time and allows them to bring us the best game possible. And I'd rather them give us a complete game than a broken one, you know? So, there's that. Oh, it's official. The Young Calves are dimensional hoppers. Thank you, Legend.
Yep. Yes, we are. But don't tell anybody. It's a secret. I'm while you're reading, I'm also troubleshooting a little bit just to make sure I can stop that from continuing to happen. But
Understood.
I am here.
No, I understood.
To help everyone have the best experience.
Yeah, here, I'll catch up on chat real fast. Monty said, interesting. I would think this game would be right up your alley, Nick. You know, I thought about this. The game is called Ghostwire Tokyo. Okay, for some people, they may not have a clue what this is because the name isn't exactly descriptive. It's not obvious. Initially, this game was shown off at E3, maybe 2018, maybe, or something like that. Anyways, what exactly this game is a little bit of a mystery. It wasn't very clear. It was like people were like disappearing or something. It kind of like a Rapture-like scenario, you know, like the classic people disappear, just piles of clothes, you know, it's like people just vanished or something like that. I think was initially some of the theme of that initial trailer. And then later we saw some gameplay clips, and it looks like you're almost like Magic, modern day Skyrim, like you're... I don't understand what this thing is. I have no idea what this is. It seems interesting, though, and it takes place in Tokyo, so I'm a big old fan. As people know, I'm a big old Japan fan. So I'm fine with that. As for anything else to say about it, I'm not sure what else to say about this game. This is just a little quick update. So moving on. Alrighty.
And quick update to you guys, our audience, because this is new. What? And I don't know if this is new for everyone on YouTube or just new for us, but I see under the video that I'm previewing a little pair of scissors. What that scissors means is you have the ability to make clips from our video. YouTube has been testing this out for a while, and I know bigger YouTubers like Abdallah Smash have had it for a while.
Guys, we made it.
But as far as I knew, it was just on beta test with the big channels. I don't know if everyone has it, but apparently we now have it. So if everyone doesn't and YouTube just decided it would be good for us, that has to do with you guys. That has to do with you guys constantly dropping likes and comments and showing up. So big thank you, because we in our meetings were like, man, there's stuff that we can't do until we have the ability to clip. And apparently we have that now. So big thanks to the Young Calves community. Thank you guys so much for always showing up big.
Yeah,
and if YouTube just rolled that out for everybody, still thank you for showing up big.
Well put. Well put. Here, let me see. Maidu said, Spooky Tokyo Skyrim? Yes, absolutely. So I'm a fan. Moving on. Pow! Resident Evil's multiplayer spin-off has been delayed by more than half a year, apparently. They're just calling them out. So RE-verse slips to 2022, so they can have development smooth the experience. So there you go. So the multiplayer for that RE-verse game is being delayed. But like we said, delayed game makes for a better one. quote unquote, the Miyamoto quote. Alrighty. Also, Zach, do you play any Resident Evil at all, or no?
I have not played Resident Evil in years. However, I will watch people stream it,
Okay.
so I am kind of caught up on the story is a little bit.
Fair enough.
I am excited for the new Netflix series, though.
Okay.
It's gonna be 8 episodes, right? I think it's 8 episodes, and it says the bio says it takes place across 2 timelines. So I don't know if that means there's dimension hopping or if that just means past and future. So I'm really excited.
Dimension hopping zombies. Come on now.
Right, that would be where it's at. I'm very big on the dimension hopping zombie train.
Oh my god. By the way, if anyone does see those pair of scissors, I don't know. I'm on a Chromebook right now. If anyone sees it, test out the clip feature. Just test it. 1, it'll probably send YouTube and say, oh, people are interested in using this clip feature, which might allow us to keep it. And 2, it might help push us in more in that algorithm, that YouTube algorithm stream. But then again, we should probably give you something good to clip. So, I'll work on it. Alrighty, let's see. Oh my god, Azran. They reversed course on that game. Thank you for the reverse comment pun. Oh my god. Okay, next story. These are quick news and updates, just by the way. Hideo Kojima doesn't like director's cut title for Death Stranding PS5. Essentially, of course, he's saying that the game's creator says it implies his original vision was edited. And that's not the case for this thing. And I mentioned this a while ago, where the director's cut seems to be Sony's more like, it's become more of a marketing term for Sony. It's like a little brand thing they tack on the back of a case. So like we have Ghost of Tsushima with the director's cut and stuff, and of course director's cut was slapped on Death Stranding, despite the fact Hideo Kojima says he doesn't even like that name. So it wasn't up to him to actually do this. Interesting.
What did he call it again? He said instead of director's cut, he said director's edition or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Because he released the game that he wanted to release. So he's like, this isn't really a director's cut. I have my version. Like, I made my version. It's exactly how I wanted it, and now this is bonuses.
And that was the thing. That I mean, I kind of mentioned this. Like maybe 3 shows ago or something. That they're just using this as kind of like the Game of the Year edition, the definitive edition, the sell you a collection that has all the DLC edition. You know, the Game of the Year edition, whatever. It's just gonna be a nice little title. And I realized, what did I go on about? That they were going to use this to justify selling the PS5 copies and then charging you for the update, which is what they did with Ghost of Tsushima. It's what they did with, I believe, Spider-Man. And what they're doing here with Death Stranding. So, I don't know. It seems to be a little marketing tactic to resell the game. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I miss back in the day when it was just straight up Game of the Year.
Sure.
Here's the DLC included. Wait a year, pay full price, but get everything. I was about that Game of the Year life.
Absolutely, which is what I've done that with a number of games. I remember 2015 at the Game Awards, they had a big old sale on all the games, and I got so many copies of like Game of the Year editions. I got like Witcher 3, I got Metal Gear Solid 5. What else did I grab? I don't know, I got all sorts of things. Haven't played any of them. That's fine. Okay, here, let's do... We did quick news. We're going to jump into some fun stories. Oh my god, yes. Oh, this is hilarious. Okay, here, let me make sure this thing doesn't autoplay. Excuse me. No thanks. I'll keep that on. No thanks. I'll keep that on. And here we go. So, Zach, I'd love to get your opinion on this. Did you hear anything about this thing?
Yeah. Yes, and I would love to give my opinion.
I would love to hear your opinion. So, guys, as you can see, this is a one of those graded copies of Super Mario 64. Zach, would you like to speak on this story? Do you know the number?
So I forget that. Wasn't it like? Shoot, I forget the number.
Oh, I can pull it up.
Yeah. What's the number, Nick?
The number.
Yeah.
Sealed
pull out the
copy of
number.
Super Mario 64 sells for record-breaking $1.56
$1.56 million.
That's not ridiculous at all.
Yeah, you know. And I think that this actually goes to a topic that we discussed, which I'm curious to hear your input because you weren't there that week because you were at work, on the Pop Culture Cave, which was the price of Pokemon cards and how Target and stuff was pulling them from the stores because people were getting violent over these Pokemon cards. I feel like this is the exact same thing. I feel like the price of collecting has just gone up this year. That literally because of Logan Paul, there's articles that like trace how he drove up the price of these Pokemon cards. But because of paying these exorbitant prices, because you've always heard the term, the market sets the price.
Sure.
You know?
Absolutely.
But so if you have people who, like Logan Paul are going to make YouTube videos and it's like, okay, I want something crazy in the title. Spent $100,000 on Pokemon cards. But those cards are only worth like $26,000. Doesn't matter. You got to spend $100,000 so you can post the YouTube video about spending $100,000. And just one person buying these things at these prices that are way higher than market now sets the market price, at least temporarily.
Absolutely.
And so the price of Pokemon cards and collector's cards in general, I know Magic the Gathering cards are more expensive right now, have all skyrocketed. And, I don't know too much about the actual art behind the market behind game collecting. But I feel like it would be the same. And I feel like just every collectible, so to speak, has gone up in price during this time. I think this is a side effect of the Pokemon cards.
I completely believe that. And like you're saying, that Pokemon card fiasco being brought to light, it brings, collectibles are worth a lot of money to the general person, and then they're like, maybe I should start collecting stuff. And then just generalized, the collecting, the big stories like these go up on the websites and stuff, and they're like, I have a copy of Super Mario 64, and it's like, their yellowed cartridge that they had when they were 4 or something, like, this might be worth a ton of money, puts it up on eBay for $300. It's fine. The internal battery's probably dead. It's fine. So yeah, things go kind of bananas. Yeah. And then also,
I think a good example with that too would be Mario 3D All-Stars, because that game is still in stores, bro. I don't know if you've checked the game section lately. It's not sold out. It's still $50 at Walmart and stuff. It was a limited run. It's just there were so many made, and everyone in all the different Nintendo groups I'm in kept posting screenshots of these prices of it being listed for $300, $400, $500, $1,000. But I'm like, okay, cool. But let's look at this. And then I go to eBay and I search Mario 3D All-Stars and I see a listing for, $300, $500 and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, now let's filter it and change it to sold listings. Let's look at the things that have actually sold. Sold for $35, for $40, for $50, for $40.
No one's paying these prices.
And, no one, I can go put my old Galaxy Note 9 on eBay right now for $10,000. But to start writing articles and running with it and say, Galaxy Note 9s are selling for $10,000 is just patently untrue. But it's a belief that the public had, So I wouldn't even be surprised if 3D All-Stars price somehow made this go up too, because it's, if a new version of that game is already selling for thousands, it's not. But yeah, and I also too, I haven't read anything about this Mario game besides the price. So I can't, I'm not being a conspiracy theorist here. I'm saying I am out of my element on this. But a lot of times, specifically thinking about the Nintendo World Championship cartridges, these things will go on eBay and then they'll be purchased for $100,000. But then after that, if you actually follow the story, it's like, oh no, that was just someone placed the bid. They didn't actually buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious if this actually did sell for 1.56 million. I think it did, just from all the articles I'm seeing. But
Yeah, let me see.
just because just because something on eBay sells and it hits that sold point doesn't mean it's actually sold. I've had people try and buy things from me that eBay says sold,
Yep.
and then I never get payment, so it's not really sold.
Right.
So I'm skeptical. I'm curious.
Hey, like Pax said, he could put his socks up on eBay for about $5 million. It's fine. Oh my god.
Socks are selling for $5 million. Everyone sell your socks right now.
Oh my god. Anyway, this one was graded very highly. It's got a 9.8, which presumably is a 10-point scale or something. I've seen this scale before. I don't understand. If you look
next to it, it says A++, not even A+. That's an A++ rating.
Yeah, man, it's super. I like this enlargement. Whole lot bigger. Whatever. Oh man, I never had. Back in the day when I had my N64, I never actually got like boxed copies of anything. It's like I got mine from like the rental store when they were going out of business or something. So I got my Paper Mario copy. I had a story about that one. I used to rent this Paper Mario copy all the time at this Blockbuster Video. And then whatever, that place went out of business. And then like 3 years later, there's a rental store going out of business in like this larger store or whatever. It had a video rental store. And I see a copy of Paper Mario. I buy it because I was like, oh, I always wanted a copy of this. I turn it on. It has my saves on it. It was from a different store.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, okay, that's ridiculous. So, I don't know. That was the coolest thing. That's one of my favorite games ever. It totally worth it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
When I was little, this is not the same, but as a kid, I had the same feeling. I was playing Super Mario World, and I lost Yoshi on a level, and he ran past, because the poles at the end that you got to jump through?
Yeah.
So he ran past that, so it was the point of no return. I could now not get him.
Yeah.
Because he was too far gone and there were no walls. And I was like, oh, I wanted to use this Yoshi so I can get, my double jump and I can get the health and whatnot, but oh well. And then I'm playing another level and my game glitches, but as a little kid, I didn't understand how glitches work. And I'm going through what is it? World 1-1-2
is the first time you can get a Yoshi. 1-3 would be right after that.
So it was one of the ones, I forget what number it is. It's like there's a lot of water, but it's not a water level. There's all these platforms, there's water underneath.
That's 1-3. That's the one.
It is 1-3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I go to 1-3 and I go through the tunnel that takes you to the desert. And while I am in the desert running through, which I shouldn't have gone through that, because without a Yoshi, I'm about to get attacked by these cactuses. And then all of a sudden, a Yoshi just comes sprinting behind me. And I was like, my Yoshi ran to this level. And I was so excited. I thought that I got my Yoshi back.
Oh my
and
God.
I tried to play the rest of the game without losing that Yoshi because he was the one who came back. So completely unrelated to your story, but that's the closest I have as far as related.
It was Mario and Mario. It was close.
Close.
My God.
It was close, honestly, mine's probably a little more unlikely. No, I'm kidding. It's crazy that you got your own save files a couple years later from a different closing store.
I was shocked no one deleted them. Like, I'm confused because it almost seems as if no one rented that thing since I rented it, because who wouldn't delete the save files or something? And I swear to God, it was saved right where I left it. So I don't know. Maybe they were a terrible rental place or whatever. But, yeah, it was just crazy. They went out of business
for a reason. They couldn't move enough copies of Mario 64.
There you go. Yeah, just bananas. Just bananas. Okay, here, let me see. Excuse me. Manu said, the day I got my SNES with Super Bomberman and Toy Story, my Toy Story game glitched or something, and I had infinite lives. The second time I played I game overed, and I was surprised of how lucky I got. Later, I learned the game did have a live system. Yeesh, yeah. So you were just playing, and you were just wrecking shop whether you died or not. That's interesting. God, I remember playing that old Toy Story game. I don't know if I played it
That
on the
Toy
Sega
Story
or
game
something.
was awesome.
Oh, I was terrible at it. Oh, I always just remember getting to that first fight where you're fighting Buzz, I think, and I got wrecked every time. Reminds me of the old NBA game, that side-scrolling one. Anyone remember what that
I
game
don't know
is?
if I played that one.
Oh, it was weird. It was like side-scrolling. You attacked with like a basketball, and you could like throw a flaming basketball. It was really weird.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was cool back in the day. Just ridiculous. Oh, let me see. Mandu said he said back in the day in a CRT that game had the best graphics in the world. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Don't care bear, welcome back, friend. Nice to see you, friend. Azran's like Shaq Fu? I swear to God, if it's Shaq Fu.
Oh, I played Shaq Fu.
I wonder. I really wonder.
Shaq Fu's pretty awesome.
Oh my God. Pax said, my first memory of a glitch was waking up in the wall of the original Double Dragon on the NES. On the NES Stage 1. Wow. That's weird. I remember, I don't know if it was the first glitch I ever encountered, but it sure was the craziest, which was back in the original Pokemon game with the missing no bug and stuff. That stuff was crazy. You were breaking the third dimension there. It was just, everything was really weird, and it's just strange how you could manipulate and work with that thing. And if you were fighting a friend, we had the thing break once where it's like you're just doing a link battle and it errors slightly on the cable. You didn't even jiggle it or anything. It just errors on the other end. And then the other person sends out this glitch or something. And if you see them, it jacks up your Hall of Fame and just tells everyone, oh, you use the missing no bug because your Hall of Fame's all sorts of screwed up and stuff. It's literally pixelated images and nothing but the sound of Zapdos in there in Parasect. But yeah, it's like even in a link battle, if the thing broke and it sends out a missing no or whatever, boom, your record's gone. The other person's record. It's like, thanks. Just awesome. Just ridiculous. Azran said I had plenty.
So,
go ahead.
I do have a topic that we didn't have for the day.
Oh,
and
let's hear it.
talking about different linked battles and whatnot actually did remind me. So I'm sure you have already heard that we are getting a new Smash Bros. Oh, excuse me. I mean a new Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
Lol.
And one of the things that I think is kind of amazing about this is it's not really controversy. I don't know what to say to describe it, but the Smash Bros community they're almost getting kind of upset about this.
Oh,
Not because they're upset there's another fighting game, but because there's things included like wave dashing, which people have missed since Melee. Wave dashing is built in. You can wave dash in this game. But on top of that, I don't know too much how tech works, but there is a network setting called rollback, which I guess allows you to have smoother online experiences and smoother matches, and it prevents lag, or it does a good job at preventing lag. And that is something that people have been very upset that isn't included in Smash Ultimate.
yeah.
So now the fact that this is out, that this game is coming out, and it is going to have better netcode than this indie Nickelodeon fighting game is going to have better netcode than Smash Bros. Ultimate,
Good God.
smoother online experiences, and include features like wave dashing. People are kind of like having a lot of fun with that. And also too, kind of demanding better of Smash, which is very interesting that we get to the point where we're like collectively wanting to demand better of Smash when there's literally just one small piece of DLC left.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Smash has been kind of done for me for a very long time. I used to strictly play it locally, and of course I had a twin brother, so I always had the best fighting partner possible. It's like someone who's exactly like me. We fight the same way, and it would get absolutely crazy when we would fight each other. But then we go online, have our butts handed to us on a silver platter, and it's like, oh yeah, never doing that again. Oh my god. Here, catching up with Mondu. Yeah, he said the sad state of Smash and many fighter games is that Nickelodeon Smash clone has flipping rollback netcode. Azran's like, a rollback netcode won't be in the Switch version. LOL! Is that confirmed, or is that just a sassy comment? Because it could be both with you.
That's true. I don't know too many details about it. I just saw it. I thought that was amazing. What if the final DLC character is from All-Star Brawl? What if it's Buttered Toast Man? Who knows? Who knows?
Oh my god. To be fair, both of you have never had the right mindset to learn and better yourselves in a fighting game. You're totally right, Mondu. Like I said, my brain is totally ADD. Not H. There's no H there. I'm not hyper. But totally scatterbrained. I can't think straight. My brain is constantly thinking of things. That's why literally, I define myself as a think cloud. I'm absolutely a thought machine. I can come up with ideas like nobody's business, if you're looking for any. But yeah, when it comes...
Porpoise, you are completely correct. This game could 100% be trash. I have no
oh my God.
expectations. I'm excited to rent this. Let's just say that.
Sure.
And see what experience I am in for. But yeah, no, I just thought it was funny that the community is kind of like, wait, this isn't in Smash, but it's in an indie Nickelodeon game.
Yeah,
it has better netcode. Yeah, that's pretty funny. But I guess that means it's time to get excited for the next Smash. I don't know how that works. I don't know.
Oh my God. Could it be trash? It's a Nick game. I expect exactly that. Oh my God. That's a pretty good game. That game's pretty good. Interesting. Yeah, see, I don't really know any details about this Nickelodeon Smash All-Stars thing.
I just seen the memes.
Sure, exactly. That's how much I know about it. I know the memes. Those going around. And it's like, I think that's awesome. I'm glad that people will have something that's going to be really cool and awesome. Obviously, the Smash fans are salty because it's like this Nickelodeon Smash game has better online networking. It's like, really? I mean, this was clearly inspired by, but it's now surpassing. So it's like, well, okay. Mona says the hope here is that the devs already have a Smash-like game out that's actually pretty good. Okay, I see. So the Smash-like alternative is already really good, and now they're making this one. Okay, that's cool.
And I'm glad. And with that, I have dumped all the information I have on that game.
Oh my God, absolutely. Here, I'm going to skip two things. The two things I'm going to skip. One, there was a Super Mario Bros. Blindfold speedrun, new record, which I'm like, what? Okay. That sounds bananas, but that's okay. We go into gaming news. We'll open this one, and here, let me stop it from auto-playing. Do not. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Open this one, and make sure it doesn't autoplay. And then open this one. And we're just about there. Okay. Alright, people. Off to the gaming news. Pow! There's apparently some new... Oh, I can't full screen this. Okay, well, this will be useless. But here, I'll drop the...
Why is there no C translation button?
Here, let me...
That's weird.
That is weird. But essentially there's a new, Gundam-like Overwatch game. That's not Zach posting, that's, me linking. So if it links to something nefarious, it's actually me, not Zach. So here. I'll just... Whoa. Don't like audio. We don't like that on YouTube. Anyways, people are kind of saying this is kind of like an Overwatch / Gundam game, which is kind of interesting. This is so weird. Look at that. Oh, I guess they can't see it because it's microscopic. I can full screen, but this might be a disaster. Let's see what happens. Oh, Jesus. Ew. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyways, I sent you the link so you guys can watch it yourself. Seems interesting. Seems exciting.
It looks cool.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. It's kind of neat. He said if you pause and look at the UI, it's literally Overwatch. Oh, is that so? Here, let's just see some of that gameplay. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, look at that. You got your quick buttons and everything. You got your HP and your armor. Oh no, you can't do that. Oh, guys. Okay, whatever. Well, hey, yeah, even the icon saying press Q. That's hilarious. Okay, at least they learned from a good source, right? Overwatch is big. People like Overwatch, so at least they're going in a good direction. A proven direction. Next thing most people won't be able to take advantage of, but maybe you can. There's a new Bravely Default game announced for mobile in Japan. You might be wondering, why am I showing you this? One, because the game looks kind of neat. Here, let me make sure you don't play audio. Don't do it. The gameplay looks really neat. It has some like high graphics and everything like that. Hopefully it's going to come to the West, but
the cover art reminds me of like when you jump in a bunch of leaves in the fall after raking them.
Sure, absolutely.
Look like a pile of leaves. Here, that was kind of cool.
Okay, let's get some game. Okay, there we go. We got some games. So you have some actual graphics. It looks like Bravely Default. The reason I brought this up is because they're going to be having a beta that they're going to be running. I remember back in the day, if people care enough, like I think Mandu might be able to pull this off, if you care enough, you could attempt to join the Japanese beta. I've done that with a number of things. I did that with PSO2. I did that with the Castlevania mobile game. A few other things. I can't remember the list at this point. But there is a beta, so that'll be accessible. I'm sure you can get... Okay. So, here. I'll just drop this link in here, and then there's a Famitsu link that you can follow and consider joining that beta. Please consider it if you're interested. Okay. And then the last thing. This is a little tiny story and a half. This is not the last story. This is the last of the small news. Oh, shoot. I got my side thing open. My bad. Okay, so essentially there was an estimated cost of spending for Switch. $10 per OLED Switch.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, so essentially they're saying, oh yeah, so here, let me see here. According to Bloomberg, the price tag has been slapped on the upgrade machine despite the costing Nintendo only around $10 more per unit to manufacture. And of course, this new Switch is, here, what do we got there? $50 more than the original Switch? So, I mean, how much do you want that OLED? Because me personally, I don't need this. I don't think anyone who has an existing Switch needs this. And the fact that the upgrade is so small, but they're charging 5 times the upgrade price, a little iffy. I'm not really thrilled about that. I like that the dock comes with a LAN port, but then again, you can buy your own. You know? And you can also buy a $3...
And you can buy the dock separately.
Sure, you can also... Well, yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I mean. You could buy the dock separately that has the new LAN port, and that'll work with the old Switch. You can also, for the old Switch and its dock, buy a $3 adapter and plug in an Ethernet cord into that beast. So that's also an option. But yeah, I don't know how we felt about this. I know a lot of people were really burned by the Switch Pro talk and everyone saying it's going to happen, and then they dropped the OLED model, which the upgrade was just so incremental and small, which it's like, it's nice. It's nicer, technically. But yeah, I was curious what people's take was.
People. I've said this before. People gotta understand. This is going from the Game Boy to the Game Boy Color. We're getting a better screen, but the Game Boy Advance is coming. The Switch Pro is coming.
Listen to you. I think this is more akin to the Game Boy Pocket, because the Game Boy Color got you some revolutionary new feature, which was color. Okay, that's nice. It's kind of like the Game Boy Advance to the SP. Revolutionary new addition, a backlight. Woo! Wow, just fantastic. And this thing, I mean, I don't know what to say about this thing. I don't actually care too much about this OLED feature. I don't personally care to... Go ahead.
This is going to replace the original Switch.
Yeah.
whenever we do get the Switch Pro, the original Switch will be discontinued and this will take its spot. Like, that's what people, I feel like people need to understand, that this, it's good that it's only cost $10 more to build, because this is going to sell for, 300
Sure.
soon. Not soon, but when this becomes the base model of the Switch, then it's going to be selling for the base model price of the Switch.
Right. And I was going back and forth with Mandu in chat before this show, and we were going back and forth about the price of the Switch, and them and just trying to think of what their model is, because Mandu was saying it's like it behooved them to lower the price of the Switch with such a high attachment rate. And of course, all the consoles, they make their money off the software sales, not necessarily the hardware. But Nintendo is so hesitant to lower the price of its product that they always sell for full price. And even when they do these incremental upgrades constantly, as every console has like 5 to 6 iterations of it, and each one just moves the price down, and they discontinue the last one, so the price never goes below a certain point until the end of the console's existence, like the 3DS. It's like, yeah, you can get those for cheap now, because they're not making it anymore. That's the only time they'll let that price drop, is they're just coasting out. They're swan-songing it. That's the thing. It's like Nintendo, that was what Mandu said. He said essentially they're in line for having 2 more iterations before the final one right now. If you're just looking at the traditional, like, multiple SKUs model, just back in the day with all the prior handhelds. So it's like we have a few here, and that's what I was saying about, like, the Switch Pro coming out. I was like, guys, once they release the Switch Pro, there's you can't make any increments between there. You've now made the perfect console, the perfect Switch, So it's like, once you release that one, you now eliminated any in-between incremental models that you can pump out for a higher price or the base price or whatever. It's like they'd be throwing out money. And here's the last thing I'll say on this, because I went to town on this topic on Good Morning Gamer, is that just to relate to this, is that when they were going to release the original Game Boy Color, the upgrade of the Game Boy, okay, 2 weeks before the launch of the Game Boy Color, they said, you know what, we got the Game Boy Advance hardware and it's ready. And they're like, just release the Game Boy Color. They just sat on the Game Boy Advance. They're like, no, it's fine. Let's make more bank. And that's exactly what Nintendo has done from the start. They just keep doing this, and they keep going down this familiar path. So, I mean, that's why I wasn't convinced that Switch Pro was going to come out before E3. It's too soon for something like that. The Switch Pro has to be the last model that they release, like, before its death. And then whatever that big super upgrade, honestly, a Switch Pro, I still argue, would be just the next console, the next Nintendo console, because that's the only upgrade they could possibly do to make this thing new, Here, let's catch up in chat, unless you got something to say, Zach. Go ahead, if you got something.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. The Switch Pro, I think they're going to have decisions to make. Sure. That they have the hardware to make so many different things, but, are they going to do, a 720 screen still, or will it be 1080?
Right.
Will there be a 4K version or a 2K version? There's a lot of, do they release a 720 Switch Pro and then release one with a bigger screen that costs, or with a bigger screen with a higher resolution that costs more? That there's a lot of different things they can do here, and the Switch is selling out. Like, it's still the best selling console in the world right now, and so it's one of those things where it's just like, it's gonna come out. It's an inevitability. And, I like this version. I'm not going to get this version yet. It depends what type of deal GameStop has. I've said that before, sure. But, if I can.
So, oh, whoa.
That was so sad. Okay. But if I can only have to spend $75 to upgrade from my Switch to this, I play handheld enough. I mostly play docked, but right. I play handheld enough where having that nice screen and that better battery life would be pretty nice.
Sure.
And so
go ahead.
I was just saying that's where I am with this. I'd like to get it, but I'm not pressed to get it,
Absolutely. I
That
feel like that's every Nintendo incremental update, where it's like they got it. It's like, that's nice. I don't think I need it, but it's really nice. And I went to town on this on the Good Morning Gamer. I'm not going to do it, guys. Don't worry. But I was like saying, it's like those upgrades, it's like notable upgrades need like kind of revolutionary changes and additions. Okay, where I said it's like with the Game Boy Advance to the Game Boy Advance SP, it added a backlight. You were able to play in the dark. That's 50% more game time. That's crazy. That's more than a blasting huge battery, because the last thing you didn't have control over was the sun. I guess you can have a lamp, but this allowed you to go anywhere with it. The DS, the original DS Fat going to the DS Lite. Okay, the form factor was tiny. And those things were stylish, and they were cool. They had bright screens. I have my original DS Fat. I love that thing. It's a honkin' brick. Last thing I'll say on that. Zach hopped to mention it again. He did. Manu did say something that I think is relevant here. No. It's when it popped out. I quickly popped it right back.
Oh, last time it happened. Okay.
Yeah. Manu, this is one thing I want to bring up here. He said 1080p screens at that size make no sense. Don't let phone manufacturers convince you that you need a 1080p at that size. One, I'll say 1080p at this size.
I'm going to strongly disagree with Mondu there.
Oh, Mondu's okay.
But I'll let you go first.
Well, here's what I'll say. I think 1080p might be the maximum you can do in a small size like this. I have a bigger thing. Like, I have this screen, or this phone screen. It's really sharp. Okay? I remember the Sony Xperia phone, the 4K phone, where it has a literal 4K display and the size of a phone screen. And I remember the articles coming out about that. They're like saying it's like you look at it and you cannot see. You cannot see the difference between the thing because it's just so dense. I think with a Switch, with the base unit Switch, it's super valuable. With the Switch Lite, I'm not so convinced, okay? I saw these things side by side, and the Switch, with its base screen, I was disappointed with how pixelated it was. Okay, and that's the 720p just going full swing there. On a Switch Lite, the thing looked beautiful, and it reminded me the difference between the base level original 3DS launch and a 3DS XL. The XL got really big in America. Europe and Japan, I think, had the smaller units, but the XL was in America. And the thing I didn't like is that 3DS games look like hot garbage. It inflates the pixel size to this huge level, and it's just obnoxious to see. And that's the same effect you get with the OG Switch. If they packed a 1080p screen in there, I think that'd be the maximum size you need. I do think they can update the original one, the original Switch. I'm not convinced you need a 1080p screen in the Switch Lite, because that thing's tight. And it looks nice. I like it.
The biggest thing that people tend to forget, because you'll have all these people on YouTube, why 4K doesn't matter, why this doesn't matter, why that doesn't matter, and they'll talk, and then they'll have a pixel, and then they'll be like, oh, by the way, did you notice that this one pixel I made black over here on the side? No, you didn't, because the resolution doesn't matter, and it's like, it's so small for you to notice, and yeah, but what people don't realize is there's more to it than just that. And specifically with gameplay, I'm talking about aliasing. That if you look at an image with some jagged corners, especially a moving image or a GIF, these diagonals don't look the best. This gameplay doesn't look smooth. In higher resolution, while you might not be able to individually notice, higher resolution almost completely eliminates aliasing issues as far as as far as movement goes. And there's other things as well, like HDR. You cannot have a 1080 image with high dynamic range. You cannot get the proper lighting from that. You need a certain amount of pixels to hit HDR levels. So there's a lot of science that goes behind it. But I agree in the people are like, I can see the difference in this picture. I'm like, no, you can't. But when we start to integrate moving video and other stuff like that, then I'm like, okay, yeah, now there's some differences here that that I'm gonna side with the higher resolution. But no,
Sure.
I guess I said I'm gonna strongly disagree with Mondu. I guess I more meant firmly. Firmly.
It was a hot take. It was a hot take, and I just want to say
on my take.
Oh my god!
And I'm gonna start throwing snowballs, and Mondu's gonna have a snow cannon, It's gonna be like that episode of SpongeBob where him and Patrick go to war, but at the end they walk away friends and torture Squidward together. So Chuck can be our Squidward since he's gone.
Oh my god.
Mondu, we can walk away, set our pixel density and resolution differences aside, and figure out how to make Chuck's life miserable.
I can say
I am the new Chuck. Hello, fellow gaming twin.
Oh my god. I don't know if I take something out of like here or something like out of you and then stick it in here. I don't know if it's compatible. So I'll have to be careful. Snow cannon would be my starting argument, and lighter guns. Oh my god. I will say I almost cut Zach off just for saying GIF like that, like a psychopath. And I understand the original creator of the file type said, "Oh, it's called GIF," but I'll tell you now, he retroactively named it, so he doesn't get the credit anymore. It's a GIF. It's a GIF, son. No, I'm kidding. Madhu did say we need a big conversation about pixel density and resolution. I will say, okay, and that's exactly what I was kind of describing with like the 3DS and the 3DS XL and the original Switch and the Switch Lite and everything. The pixel density is the big difference there. And yes, the tighter the pixel density, the way better the stuff's going to look. It's just going to make your screen even smaller and smaller as you do it. Or maybe I'm full of crud. Maybe I just broke a law there. We'll discuss it another day. But we do have main stories to get into, and they're big boys. Oh, let me...
Beefy boys.
Beef boys. Here. Let me pull this up. And we're gonna back out of this thing. It's the main stories. Yes, it's the main stories. Sorry, I like to sing. Let me see. Okay. And boop. All right, guys. Netflix is getting into gaming. And I'm sure you guys heard something about this, but we have extra information. So, this is from Jeff Keighley. I always called him Geoff forever. And I might just call him Geoff forever anyway. But whatever. He said, according to Bloomberg, Netflix has hired Mike Verdu, former EA exec, for Command & Conquer, Medal of Honor, and recently running Oculus first-party VR games as VP of Game Development. That's interesting. So they got some actual industry talent to start working on this little game division of Netflix, which is a lot to think about. And I just wanted here, we'll just add a little bit of additional here. Wait, you know how exciting it is that an EA executive is in charge? What? I really trust that, people. Yeesh. Oh my god. And no, Azra, we have not touched the main stories. This is story 1, and then we have big story 2. Manu saying Command & Conquer, that franchise got dumped onto phones, and Medal of Honor, the franchise, was let to rot, only to get a random VR game. And here, I will say this, okay? You're not wrong. But of course, you know, that was EA handling these things, and EA is not shy to put something in the ground early, in like a shallow grave, a shallow unmarked grave, okay? They just do that. Anyway,
but isn't the guy who's running this from EA during that time?
Oh my god. Go away. Jesus, Games Radar. Holy cow. So essentially, the only reason I grabbed this is because it's saying Netflix is reportedly expanding into games within the next year. Okay? So we will be seeing things as soon as 2022, sorry. And then also specifically, this is a big little thing right here. Games will be available at no extra charge to subscribers.
I like that.
Round of applause right there. That is how you do it. And I don't mean, oh, just give people more free things. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that they're doing something to essentially entice people into their core product, which is a subscription to Netflix. It's not, hey, here's your extra bundle and, you know, all your people with they're not trying to draw in the people who already have a Netflix account. They're trying to draw in more people, which is a fascinating take. So I'm curious about that.
One thing that I think is interesting.
Let's hear it.
You know, I think companies like Disney Plus, and HBO Max are trying very hard to draw in new subscribers.
Sure.
However, with Netflix, I would almost say they are trying to draw in people who are already subscribed because people are leaving Netflix at record rates.
Oh, shoot, you're right.
And so,
oh my God, let me say,
Netflix
I'm ready to kill
hemorrhaging
Hulu.
Subscription.
They got rid of HGTV, the entire course of that network, so I don't know why anyone pays for Hulu anymore.
I still don't understand why Disney Plus didn't just take over Hulu, but
yeah, that's
I'm not
strange.
Disney, so I'll never get to make that decision.
Oh, Zach.
Make them one thing. You'd
Zach,
have
what are you talking about?
200 million subs already. Anyways,
Zach,
but,
they have two
I think an
subscriptions.
interesting thing here is the fact that the games are coming out as early as next year, but this is just being announced. This is, there have been teases of Netflix might be considering it, but they just brought this dude on, and to me, this is kind of, and me and Tyler have talked about this before too, but Netflix has to spend these big bucks to make these movies right now because they don't have any of the IP to keep subscribers because they're losing their IP. The whole point of Netflix was originally, hey, watch whatever you want here, except now their library is going to HBO Max, to Hulu, to Disney Plus, to Discovery Plus, if that's even exists still, to all of these different services. And Netflix is at an identity crisis. That's why they're spending so much money to make these things. But one thing that Netflix is also known for is wasting money. For example, in Stranger Things season 3, with
whoop, we lost him. Oh no, he's gonna be so salty right in the middle of his rant.
Oh no!
Right in the middle of your rant, you said right at Stranger Things season 3, and then it's like, pew.
Okay, no spoilers, but
whoa! You spoiling? Slow down.
Takes place in a mall, and it was an abandoned mall originally before Netflix, used it for their production.
Oh.
But in that mall, there's all these empty storefronts, and Netflix, for set design, paid and had these storefronts made into real stores for their production. I forget the number. It was either 8 or 12, but storefronts that they completely filled with products, they completely filled with logos and advertisements. They made them their own store that never even were on camera.
Wow.
That's, and Netflix is known for doing that, for being very wasteful with their productions, not being good at doing things cheap. And to me, if you're, Netflix needs to change. This isn't like a anti-Netflix guy, but to have Netflix exist for the extended future, to not go out of business at some point in the next 10 years.
Sure, yeah.
They need to change their business model up a little bit, and they know that. That's why they're investing money into shows like The Witcher and Stranger Things.
Hey, they should have bought The Expanse.
To me, this kind of feels like a desperate half measure, where it's like, oh, okay, maybe if we do gaming, people will come. Well, games take a long time to make. So the fact that these games are coming out next year already does not instill confidence in me. That I feel like they're throwing the feelers out in every direction. But if you want people to come for your platform or to your platform for gaming or stay because of the bundle of gaming, then you need to actually invest in it.
Yeah.
You need to make a game that's going to take 3 years to make, that even if it's just one, like Bungie with Destiny, that was what, $500 million originally between Bungie and EA to make Destiny 1. That's all Bungie's doing. They're supposedly working on some other games, but we still haven't seen anything about them. Like, you don't need to be a studio that drops tons and tons of different games. Netflix, in my opinion, if they want to get into gaming, they just focus on making one really, really, really good game and spend money on it like it's a show, like The Witcher or Stranger Things. I'm not in any of these marketing meetings, so, my numbers could be all off, but that's my opinion and how I see it. Especially considering the fact that we already saw Google Stadia happen.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, we did.
And that's all I really need to say about that. This has given me... This seems like a lesser version of Stadia, so...
Well, here, let me put a different spin on this, and maybe a slightly more positive one. The thing I'm excited for, I'm actually excited about this, okay? And the only reason I say this is because of some of their experiments they've done before. Like the Bandersnatch experience, you know, where it's like you could play, it was a pick your own adventure kind of thing in Netflix, which was fascinating. They converted the Minecraft story mode into, like, from the Telltale story game. They converted that into something playable. And the thing I liked about it is the fact that they're making games, interactive things, more accessible to people who might not traditionally play them. So people who don't have any muscle memory whatsoever for, like, a controller. Oh yeah, I forgot. You can't do this. Can't do this. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm hoping that they go the route of, let's not make Dark Souls, let's not even make Mario Bros. Okay, let's make these games that anyone can play by simply choosing an option, a choice, or whatever. I remember there were choices in, dang it, that game Chuck always recommends me. That Xbox one with a TV show built into it, dang it. Whatever, it was really cool. Whatever, so games... I don't remember what it was. But games with choices like that, where you just pick the direction, you make the decisions of the characters or whatever, and then the story progresses, I think it's fascinating. You know, that's something my mom can play. She hasn't played games since, like, being in an arcade, you know? Something even my dad can play. My dad really was like the dawn of the arcade. So, I don't know. I'm hoping they get their own idea, and they go their own route. I'd almost say like Telltale, but the only thing I hate about Telltale games is that they have some really tough randomized controls where it's like every time you get into a random encounter, the controls are different. Quantum Break, thank you. Don't care, I'm a bear. Appreciate it. So yeah, I hope they bring their own spin on this. Okay, like I was saying with Telltale, they made their own style of game.
See that?
Yeah. So it's like we could be hard on.
I want to say I'm not into. Go ahead. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. No. I want to see Netflix succeed.
Sure, absolutely.
But I don't expect it to, but I would love to be proved wrong.
You know, Zach, sometimes...
if they do something like you're describing, I think that could definitely help.
Sure. And see, that's the fun thing about a discussion and debate show. Sometimes you got to play devil's advocate. Let's see. Let me catch up on some chat here. Let me see. Azran said, and I'm going to be jumping a little bit. Well, they could be games that already exist on Stadia and Luna, and then it wouldn't take much time, right? Sure. I really don't think Netflix needs to do anything that requires a controller or God forbid, a remote where you're pressing the ups and the downs. Maybe you could do the ups and the downs, okay? Maybe you could do that. Worst case is say, hey, here's your controller scheme. It's like for controllers that only have a number pad. It's like, okay, top one, left one, right one, down one. Center is select. You know, it's like fine.
Porpoise said if an EA exec is in charge, it's going to be just microtransaction garbage.
Right. Taller Cookies, welcome.
I didn't even think about that. But yeah, imagine they're like, we have all these games included for free. And then you boot it up and there's just all these microtransactions. It's literally Candy Crush type stuff, except with like Stranger Things.
Yeah, and you know... Oh, please. Yeah, oh, please. No remote. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think Netflix has to go with the idea I'm thinking about. Okay? And the reason I say that is because if they start going traditional games routes, they're going to scare away their older customers. I mean, even the older customers who are like old and curmudgeonly, who are like, oh, my son, he plays too many of those video games, and then they say video games are here. They're gonna bail and they're gonna go to Hulu or something, you know. So I think they got to be tactful about it. It's possible they may not even name it games, you know, or the only place they'll call it games is on the kids' side. You know, they'll say play games, and on the adult side they'll say interactive fiction. You know,
Interactive fiction.
Sure, something like that. Or
Netflix, take notes. Somebody clip this. Somebody clip this. Nick is spitting out truth.
Oh my god.
Clip it and send it to Netflix.
Yeah, really, they're gonna need it.
Sweet Mr. Beast, we need his help.
Jeez, I don't think they're gonna be microtransaction monsters.
Next video, I bought Netflix.
Oh my god. Let me see. Mandu said, for what EA mentally does to a game, just go look at Plants vs. Zombies 2. Yeah, that was a disaster. Zach, you played Plants vs. Zombies? Or no? No, okay. Let me just give you a description, okay? There was a golden game made by PopCap. Okay? And EA bought PopCap. EA then had PopCap make a game called Plants vs. Zombies 2 for your phone. And they made a microtransaction nightmare out of it. Even to the point to where if you look at all the reviews and stuff, at least this was a while ago, the last time I looked at it, everyone says, oh, Pogo Panic is a cheating level or whatever, because people would spend all these money to like buy all these like troops and stuff that you'd send into battle or whatever, and they get decimated, they lose all the things they paid for on this one level of just a nightmare thing, and it's like, there's no way you can build your own troops or whatever and beat this level. It just became a microtransaction nightmare, despite the fact the original game is it's like a platinum piece of gold. You can turn on today. It's so chock with features.
Sounds about right.
And like nothing extra.
Battlefront.
Jesus.
Oh, sorry, I had to clear my throat.
Good God. Yeah. I almost heard some trauma coming through there, through the microphone. But yeah, you're right. And that really shook them, especially with the old stories of, hey, Mr. Disney comes knocking on EA's door and they're like, hey, knock it off. And then like, well, we reversed everything. God, I love that. Here, let me see. Monty's like, yes, that game exists. We just don't talk about it because EA happened. Yeah, Legend agrees. They transformed a cult classic into a pay-to-win hack. Inferno. Legend said...
What was it? It was with Battlefront 2, or Battlefront 1. Luke was talking to Obi-Wan from the original trilogy. It was the picture. He's like, you knew my father? And he was like, yes. And he's like, before the Empire.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Oh no, did I get cut off in the middle of that?
It cut off a smidge,
no,
but
my
it
thing
came
froze
through.
for a second. I thought I was gone. Oh.
Oh my God.
I don't know if the joke landed or not, but it's not good enough to repeat.
It landed, it broke one wheel, but it's still rolling down the runway, so it made it there. Legend said, I love the original Plants vs. Zombies. It was such a cult classic, but then 2 came out and it was such a disaster. Like Nick said, yeah, it's terrible, and it was so disappointing because the game was beautiful. And I remember resisting this game because I was a young, ignorant fool. I heard Plants vs. Zombies and it was getting real popular. And Plants vs. Zombies, what a dumb concept. And then I finally played it. I was like, oh my God, I love it. I love it. It's so great. I mean, I turned this thing on maybe 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
Yeah, and let me see. Oh, we lost Zach. He is hopping through the time-dimensional gates today. Boop. He back.
Boop. Sorry, dimension hopping, you know.
Of course.
I was trying to stop EA from ruining Plants vs. Zombies 2 in another dimension.
You know, the time police are going to come after you. Just saying.
And so I wanted to come back to you guys.
Let me see. Mindu said there's a mod out there that transformed into a regular game, but sadly the difficulty is still extremely high. Didn't cut, only sped up the camera. Oh, I see. Zach, are you able to control your abilities, says Legend?
Not all of them, but the ones like this, yes. But
nailed it. Look at that amazing. Look at that amazing.
I'd be very responsible with that power, and I vow to only use it for good.
Thank you. Oh my God. Guys, are we ready for the main story of the night? Let me just say, this thing is like a megaton dropped. Okay. Okay, let me just, okay, I'm getting it. Let's relax. Let's breathe. So Valve has released or it has announced the Steam Deck. Zach, have you seen this thing?
Yes, I have.
This thing, actually, better yet, let's hear your take. What's your take on this thing, my good sir? What do you think of this thing?
It looks like the best handheld computer. Like, there's so many, every time, which this is definitely the biggest, beefiest boy with the most power out of all the ones I've seen. But there are so many micro handheld computers that you can use like a Switch,
Yeah.
that every single time a developer drops one, every single time a company, I think, what was it Razer who had one at CES for the last 2 years, and they actually have been on sale. Like, every single time everyone freaks out, a new PC Switch, is the Switch dead? Oh, wow, this looks so good. But can it play Nintendo?
Yes, it can.
Like,
with emulators.
If you want to play games that are not what? I was saying, if you want to play games that aren't available on the Switch and you want to play them handheld, then buy something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of my take, is like, this stuff has existed for a while. And, I use my phone with the Razer Kishi controller add-ons that make it, this unwieldy beast that's, it comes out to like this wide at the end. And I stream from Game Pass on there all the time, So, like, yeah,
okay,
I don't think these things, this isn't competition for the Switch, I guess. Like, it's not even, I don't really consider it the same category. That's my hot take.
Okay. I know exactly what you're saying, because, in all honesty, so I remember this thing. This thing, it has a 7-inch display, which I always thought was the perfect size. And I know this from the sake... Oh, Jesus, 1 second. Okay.
Thanks for joining us, Azran. We'll catch you on the flip-flop.
Azran, nice to see you, friend. Sorry, my dog was doing his lonely howl, which he sounds like he's being beaten and maybe eaten.
I was curious what was happening because I couldn't hear that. So I was like,
thank God.
It's just like 1 second and it's just kind of sitting here staring.
Yeah, I hit the mute on my microphone is what I did, because unfortunately my dog does this and he wails. And he wails because he's just lonely. That's it. That's literally all. He also won't eat his food unless you're sitting about 3 inches from him. I don't know why. It's just how my dog apparently became. We don't beat him, I swear to God.
Him.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, so here's the thing. This thing, I think, is very, very important. 1, because the price point is incredible for the power that comes with it. 2, this is made by Valve. Okay? This is absolutely tied to Steam. It's using the Steam OS, which is fine. Okay? But the thing is that Valve has now set the standard as to what these things are supposed to be. It's kind of like VR.
That's true.
Yeah, and and it's like, unfortunately, it's not the same case with like VR headsets and like.
No,
Valve
I'm excited because these other ones weren't anything special.
Yes, and that's my point. It's like you said, you add the Kishi to your phone, and you said it's this unwieldy beast. I have a thing called a GameSir, which is the cheapest Kishi in existence. It becomes an unwieldy beast, and I love it. But the thing is that this is a solid beastie boy, and Mandu put in the point in there is like, they already clarified this thing can run any PC application. This thing can run PC applications. And he said it's like people will be running Breath of the Wild through an emulator better on stronger hardware than you can actually play on the Switch itself. Like, that simple. It allows for mods. You can install Windows on this thing. Like, it's like if you had any game, it's now compatible with this thing. And I'm kind of losing my cheese when I see this thing because the price point is crazy. I see, like you were talking about the gaming PCs, I see them for $600 minimum. Okay? $400?
I would buy this over a gaming laptop for sure.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking too. This thing has 16 gigs of RAM. It's saying it's like you can play games like Control, Okay, Control is notorious for running like hot garbage on a PS4 and an Xbox One. Not exactly, obviously, not PS5 or Xbox Series X, but it's like this thing's got, yeah, it has Doom Eternal on there, Hades, you've got Ghost Runner. Here, I don't know if we have, here, let me see. They were talking about the price on this thing. And I think, yeah, they start showing games. They're playing Fallen Order on this thing.
Can it be docked?
It can be docked. They're going to be selling
just
a dock.
A handheld system?
No, they're selling a dock. This is a PC. This is a computer. So here, let me scroll down on this thing. Okay, have it handheld, showing what you're playing. Probably a better stick than a Joy-Con. Hope to God it is. You can play this.
Oh,
what's up?
I have one mini topic when we finish this. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh yeah. Oh, it has touchpads for this thing.
Joy-Con drift is dead, but either way, we'll keep going.
Are you? Oh my God. Madu, I don't have a link to where they show the. Why do they not have like a? Here, let me see if it's on the reserve page.
Oh, this thing's pretty.
This thing is really cool.
Oh, there's a dock too.
There is going to be a dock. And they have some better images of this thing somewhere. I'm disappointed I don't see it. Hardware. Let's see it. Just give us a... Yeah, give me some of those images. It has a touchscreen. I didn't know it had a touchscreen. I lost my cheese when I heard it had a touchscreen. Has trackpad. Let's see.
And I saw it has the paddles on the back, too.
There we go. Here you go. This thing's literally a computer. Whatever you could plug into a computer, you could plug into this. They're plugging in a monitor and a keyboard. You know, they're going to have a dock where you can plug in all these things. They said you could technically run VR off this thing. They don't recommend it, you know, but you can technically do that. You can do anything you can with a PC, which you can't do with, like, say, a Switch or
See,
an
I'm
Xbox.
curious, too.
Go ahead.
So, I have this camera gimbal, the Ronin RS2, and it has this attachment because I bought the Pro bundle called the Raven Eye. The Raven Eye lets you use your phone as a gyroscope to control it. You can use the touch controls on the phone, but another thing, you can use your phone as a monitor for your camera, so you can see what the camera's looking at on your phone. But so one cool thing about the DJI Ronin RS2 is you can control the gimbal with a controller, like a video game controller. But now I'm looking at this thing and I'm just like, can I connect this to that and use this as the controller to control it, but then also use that center? Sorry, this is completely not gaming related, you know, but it's a PC, so you can configure it. But I'm like, if I can use that 7-inch display as a monitor and control it all in the same hand, like, that's... Sorry, my brain's going somewhere else with this right now, but yeah, I would buy this just for that purpose if I could.
Oh my God, that's not ridiculous at all. I mean, they're showing you can have local multiplayer on this thing. You don't have to play on this tiny screen. You can attach this thing to a TV. They're attaching fight sticks on this, so different USB peripherals and stuff. Obviously, gaming on the go. The junk is that game. This thing seems just kind of ridiculous, and the important thing that I see here is that it sets a standard of just hardware. You know, this thing is made to where it's gonna at least be able to run Control. Control is a really heavy-duty game that barely functioned on that last...
What resolution is the screen?
I believe they said 720. Am I wrong on that, Mandu? Mandu put up a bunch of facts in here. Let me see. Let me just read these facts here. As I was talking with Nick the other day, you just go into the store. One option, you have $350 for a Nintendo Switch, 4 gigs of RAM, 0.8-ish teraflops of power, $60 a game. On the other, you have for $50 extra than that. Okay, so for $400, you get 16 gigs of RAM, 1.6 teraflops of power, Steam, your entire Steam library.
What if this was why they held back the announcement of the Switch Pro?
I mean,
if Nintendo got wind that this was about to drop soon, you know.
I I personally don't believe in the Switch Pro. I don't believe in the Switch Pro as in like the last Switch. I believe the Switch Pro, if it exists, will be the Switch 2. It'll be the console generational jump. That's what I personally think the Switch Pro is. Maybe we'll get that Pro model, and then they'll release the Switch 2, and it's literally just a Pro model with a new baseline, kind of like the Xbox Series, or the Xbox One S and X, and then the Xbox Series X. You know, I kind of worry about that, because it's like the last iteration of whatever this console is going to be almost seems like the one not to buy, like the PS4 Pro. It's like we just had the PS5, and it's like now it feels like a waste for anyone who has a PS4 Pro. It's like, well, they're not making special content for you anymore. They're not doing upgrades for PS4 games.
I did see.
Go ahead.
That Microsoft announced that I think it was Phil Spencer who said it, but they are going to be bringing xCloud, the streaming service, to Xbox One consoles. And by doing that, if you have an Xbox One, you can still play Xbox Series X and Series S exclusives.
Yeah.
So
isn't that cool?
You'll be able to play games like Flight Simulator that aren't coming out for the Xbox One.
Yeah, bro, my day one Xbox One will be able to play Xbox Series X games.
Yep.
Which is just ridiculous.
You'll be able to stream them via xCloud. So that this kind of reminded me of that. You're talking about the upgrades and whatnot.
Yeah.
And yeah, so very, very interesting.
Yeah, this thing, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. The differentiation between the multiple models that you can get, they have, like, it starts at the 400, and that comes with like a 64 gig internal storage, and then allows you to expand with micro SD cards. You can't change out the internal storage. It's like a Switch. You're not about to crack that thing open and change it, or any PlayStation console, they don't like you going in there. And then, of course, the next model up is like the 256 gig storage, and then they have like a 512 gig storage, which is like 400 to, I don't know, 5. And then
is it
6.
Just the storage? Is there any increased RAM?
From my understanding, because the internal storage will be larger, see right here, okay? They said technically the larger the model, the better it'll technically run. Yeah, it says all models include high-speed micro SD card slots. Okay, that didn't say it, but whatever. Essentially, they did mention in this IGN video where they quick ask like a ton of cool questions or whatever. They said the higher the storage, generally the better this thing's going to run, because most of your games are going to be running off this high-speed internal storage rather than off of an SD card, And I don't know if that's perfectly akin, Mondu, I don't know. Let me catch up a chat real fast.
That's very cool.
Yeah, yeah, as Valve, he said, Valve's own representative said, you can install whatever you want on this thing. You can run Xbox's xCloud, the Microsoft Store, PS Now. You can install Windows on this thing. This is ridiculous. Manu said 720p at 7 inches. Isonic said 800p. Manu said, well, technically, yes, 800p. Resolution number will be kind of weird. Okay. Manu said small screen and low res is needed because it will drink up the battery anyways. That's true. And the cool thing I really liked about this thing is that essentially they said you have the freedom to do whatever you want kind of with this thing. All the games default to whatever the best overall settings are to run on this device, but you still have access to the settings. So you can start tweaking them as you like on this device itself. Cool. Yeah, so and that's just fascinating. I made a joke, okay, I was talking with Mandu. Okay. I was talking with Mandu, and I said my baseline, and this has been true since like forever. My baseline is, can this device run Oblivion? Okay. Old Elder Scrolls Oblivion. That's all I wanted. Currently, if it comes between this thing and the Switch can't run Oblivion simply because it's not even available on it. I can't forcibly put it on it. Whatever. But the factor is that even the baseline model of $400 on this thing would run Oblivion with flying colors. So even the base level model is fine for me. I am excited just to get the entry level unit for this thing. And I don't know, I'm losing my cheese here because, like you were saying,
this is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's been like a billion of these things.
This is much different than what I thought you were showing me originally.
Yeah, and because like you were saying, it's like, yes, these things have always existed. It's like, yeah, It's like, yeah, they're usually annoying. I've seen the ones with like the big old keyboard in the bottom, you know, and it's like has some game sticks on it. It's like it's kind of works like a giant clamshell SP or something. But yeah, this thing is it's like we love our Switch, okay, and it's beautiful hardware, okay, but this thing is literally beautiful hardware, like the Switch, except super powerful. I don't know, it's just ridiculous, and I'm so excited for them to set the new baseline. They did say that this tech, everything here, is open to developers. So other developers will be able to take this and make their own version of this. But like the Microsoft Surface, okay, that device, I love that device, they set a baseline as to what can be made with this. And honestly, I'd probably just go in at this because the specs is like, it's 16 gigs of RAM. That's competing with my honking huge desktop that's the size of half my TV screen. And my TV's like huge. So I don't know.
I'm very,
Go ahead.
I would get, I'm considering just the fact that this can be docked,
Yeah.
Now I'm considering something like this over an Xbox Series X. Because my plan was when those are actually physically available in stores and in GameStops to trade in my PS4 Pro and my Xbox One and then pay the extra 100 or whatever it's going to be to get a Series X.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, I already have Game Pass. Like, I kind of would, having...
Mandu, there's a gyro in this. Wild. So you can play Overwatch with a gyro if you want on PC. What in the heck? This is so weird. Whoa, they just hold down on the touchpad and it moves straight into gyro controls. How fascinating.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was kind of losing my cheese at seeing this. Just seeing it's like a powerful Switch. I loved the Switch, okay, when it came out. Because it was like, this looks awesome. This looks like a powerful handheld that you can play console-level games on the go. And it looks awesome. This is a way more powerful Switch, and you can play your entire Steam library on it. Oh, and if you want to play Civ on it with a mouse and keyboard, you can just dock it, plug in a mouse and keyboard. You want to play with a fight stick, you plug in a fight stick. You want to play with a flight stick and play a flight simulator, you can do that. If you have some wonkadoo peripheral from 1994, and it still plugs in with USB, I don't think that was available back then, but whatever, you can still plug it in. And I love that because me, personally, there's so many things that I like to play with, like modding programs and other things that I would love to have on the go. Okay, like I don't know, I have like the Delver editor or something. To be able to edit games on somewhat of a PC-like device and then take it on the go and be able to play what I made or whatever, would be awesome. A lot of the programs that I use are homebrew, okay? So they're just made and they function on Windows. I can't put that on a Switch.
This guy is aiming without touching the second stick.
Yeah, I did see that, which, I mean, that's going to be real stiff. It's like you kind of... I did notice that. I hope you can auto set up that gyro. We'll see what you can do. Because, yeah, I was a bit worried about that because it's like, you're not going to be getting very far with that, bro. Oh, it's not going to play for me. But, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to know what people's take on this piece of hardware is. Are you guys interested in this? The base level entry is about the price of a next-gen console. Even...
Current gen.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is such an affordable entry point, and the fact that when you buy this, you already own a monster library of games. Whatever you have in Steam is already owned on this thing. Not to mention...
And whatever you have on Game Pass and xCloud already.
Bro, and let's even slow down here. You can install Windows on this thing. Whatever you have on Epic Games, whatever you have on, I don't know, EA's Origin or whatever, whatever you have on GOG for good old games, you're going to be able to play on this thing. It has built-in actual controls that, we all know. The button scheming and layout doesn't look too crazy. If you ask me, it does have the double the inline sticks, as they were called, on top, the double top, which is a little weird. But I think
You have the trackpad underneath, so you can almost
yes.
use it not inline.
Well, even then, I think on a handheld device like this, I don't think the inline's too much of a problem. On a controller, I'm very used to my Xbox controller. Okay, my 360 controller. I like this thing. If I do this on a PS4, I can't do anything right. I'm just all sorts of wrong. On a
Well, my
handheld,
mind's just going, would I
what?
prefer a trackpad for my right thumb
Maybe,
versus the stick?
maybe
You
it's
know, like
yeah,
I
and I'm sure you can control the sensitivity on those trackpads. So it's like you can. I think this thing's going to be really sharp in its functionality, and I'm just kind of excited. I'm excited to see something so small and powerful and affordable. That's not the Switch. It's like this is the size of a Switch, and it's literally better in every way. It does not have Nintendo's IP, but that's not going to stop people from putting a Wii U emulator and playing Breath of the Wild on the best possible quality settings, like ridiculous quality settings. You know, it's like playing like some of the Pokemon games, like Sun and Moon, on like a 3DS. But if you play it on a PC, the graphics look amazing. It's just all down-resed for the garbage 3DS screen. And that's why Breath of the Wild's going to look even more amazing on this thing than it does the even Switch's native hardware. So I don't know. Whatever. I'm gushing about this thing. I'm really excited about it. And what's interesting about this device is that it's a no compromise device. A Switch there's a bit of a compromise there. You can only play what comes to the Switch. Okay? Like any hardware, you can only play what's brought to the system. Everything's brought to PC. And if it's not brought to PC, apparently there's emulators out there that you can play pretty much anything anyway. And with these kind of specs, it's like you're not going to have a problem running a GameCube on this. You're not going to have a problem running the Wii U on this. You're not going to have a problem running any 360 game. And of course, you're going to have PC games like an Xbox or whatever, you know, that just released on PC instead, and it has adjustable settings, which consoles generally just don't have. So I don't know. That's all I got to say about this.
So also too, this probably will not have Joy-Con drift.
You don't think so? Why is that?
I don't think so. And so I'm actually going to.
Here they had a thing.
I'm
with
going
the
to send you
sticks.
something.
Okay.
But yes, because I don't know if you saw, but this guy has fixed Joy-Con drift.
I did see that. Where did we drop that in? I don't know if we dropped it in the heads up or something. It's already better than Switch. Says the doofiest stinker. That's not the actual name, but I do think you deserve better than that. You stinker, you.
Okay, here we go. I am going to send you this link so you can display it.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Discord, boop, boop-a-doop, boop, boop.
Oh, shoot.
And then I already have it marked. What? I sent you the link to an article. Give me one second. I'm sending you the link to the video.
Oh my God.
To the article.
Oh, thank you. Madu, no, I did not see Summer Stick Chuck. I did not see that, and it's fantastic. Oh my God. Can I drag this into like?
So I do want to explain.
There you go.
What's happening here?
We got Summer Stick Chuck, guys. Mondo
and I do think it actually goes really well with this. It goes really well with this other system too, because it legitimately most likely will not have Joy-Con drift. So
yeah, here I'm gonna pull it up.
Now I'm sending you the proper video.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I don't think I can play it because we're on YouTube. All right,
so skip. Yes, but you can. We just need a freeze frame.
Okay.
So quiet ads.
I'll go ahead and give you the time code, and then I can pull it up. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the time code right now.
Okay. The link you need, Zach, it's in the heads up channel. Okay, yeah, so we tossed it in the heads up. It looks like Zach actually found like a video of this actually happening, or got the actual source of them actually fixing it.
Yep, and then he explains it. Okay, so if you go to 742.
742. Yeah, we're going to 742.
Or actually, we're gonna start with 815. Go to 815.
815, he says. Well, I'm gonna go to 810. So there. Oh no. Okay, here, 1 second. I gotta. Okay, here. Let me switch to full cam for a second. Let me post.
Oh, it's Chuck on a stick.
Yeah. It's Summer Chuck.
Summer Chuck. Gotcha. Oh, I thought it was interesting.
Okay. 815. He said. Here, I got 804. It's close enough. And then I'll hit play. And. Boop. Oh, here. Let me get that.
So this is amazing. So
Okay.
I'll tell you guys the fix too. So the fix for Joy-Con drift is you take a small little square piece of paper or cardboard. Think a business card. So the thickness of a business card.
Card
you cut
stock.
out a square. Yeah, card stock would work perfectly. And you put it under your Joy-Con, and that will permanently fix your Joy-Con drift.
So that's under the stick when disassembling it, I think. Right?
Correct.
Oh, look at
and you
that.
don't even need to disassemble the stick. You just need to take the stick out for a second.
Yeah, so look.
You just unscrew where it goes. Put this card in, and then screw the stick back down.
Gotcha.
Right, do we have that? Okay. So
yeah, look at that thing.
There's one diagram there. So basically what happens, if you see where those red dots are, that is a gap. So underneath those red dots is the plate that the contacts and whatnot go through, that the metal contacts that put your inputs from the Joy-Con in. So over time, that metal plate ends up starting to separate a tiny bit just from wear and tear. And because of that, then the contacts are loose and they don't necessarily touch every time. So you can actually, and this guy figured it out because he was looking while calibrating his Joy-Con, and he would squeeze the Joy-Con, and then the drift would instantly stop. And then he'd let go of the Joy-Con, the drift would start again.
Yeah.
And he'd squeeze the Joy-Con, and the drift would stop because the pressure closes that gap. And so if you go to 755 or just anything before 810, you see that's how it's supposed to be. Gotcha. Fully in contact, no gap. So by putting a small piece of paper underneath that prevents there from ever being that gap to begin with, and that'll fix Joy-Con drift. Gotcha. And the most amazing thing about this, if you see the arrow on the there's not an arrow on yours, that's fine. It's 755, there's an arrow pointing to the screw. But all Nintendo needs to do is add one small screw to hold the metal plate connected to the Joy-Con, and that will fix Joy-Con drift.
Jeez.
So because this dude figured it out and tested it with a piece of paper and by squeezing his Joy-Cons, and has tested it over and over, and it works, we now know that that Joy-Con drift has a very easy solution, which means whenever we get new Joy-Cons, drift should be gone, I would assume. If Nintendo just needs to add one screw hole, then the drift should be gone. So Joy-Con drift is dead. If you have Joy-Con drift, you can permanently fix it with a small piece of cardstock. And I think, it's kind of like, I just love that is what fixes this issue.
Yeah, and the thing is that if this is like 100% foolproof, like this works kind of thing, for like anyone, this alleviates you to buy like special edition Joy-Cons and stuff. Like me, I barred myself from ever buying a new pair of Joy-Cons because it just has the inevitable flaw of the thing it's gonna break,
And this guy has been using this before he published the video. He said he's been using this test for over 4 months. He's been using these Joy-Cons or something like that and has had no issues.
Gotcha. Wow,
so
that's cool.
Yeah. But Dang. It's cool because you can, if you do have a drifting Joy-Con, you can even test it yourself without even opening your Joy-Con. You can go to calibrate it and watch it start to drift and squeeze the Joy-Con and then boop, right back in the center, no drift, everything. Right. But I thought that this was, it's kind of sad. You know, we all know I love Nintendo, you know, but I think it's kind of sad that that simple fix with all of their engineers who've probably been working on it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
That it just needs one more screw and then you're good.
Yeah.
But you know, or it doesn't even need to be a screw. Literally, the Joy-Con shells could just have an extra millimeter under where the joystick is, and that would also put the pressure there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so the fact that that fix is now public knowledge, that it's just a pressure problem, I can't see it not being fixed by Nintendo whenever they release new model of Joy-Cons, if that's ever happening. Or even just kind of how the Switch 2, the original Switch 2 that people are freaking, the one with the upgraded battery life and a slightly better screen that came out, 2 years ago? You know?
Yeah, something.
The new Switch or whatever. But like, you know, it's not, it doesn't even need to be like this big public thing. Just fix the Joy-Con. Yeah, it's like Mondu said, they've already released some silent Joy-Con revisions. And I thought that was amazing. And the fact that you bring up this Steam machine too right before this, which I'm willing to bet money will not have a drift issue, you know. I would love to see this light a fire underneath Nintendo's butt to really bring about a powerful new Switch system.
And that's the thing. Here, let me just point this thing back out, okay? This thing, I'd argue, this is the Switch Pro. And Valve beat Nintendo to it. You know? It's like, yes, you're not playing the biggest, newest IP from Nintendo, but to be fair, guys, we all already have a Switch. You can play them anyway, and now you can play everything else like a Switch. I remember when the Switch first came out, I played 3 days worth of Breath of the Wild. I'm like, I love this thing. I love it. I love it. I love so much. I love playing on this thing. I just want to play something else because it was like nothing else released for it. And of course, with the Switch being Nintendo, you can't play squat on this thing unless it's released to the device. This is literally, you can play more on your Switch. It's just different. And it's better. It's a Nintendo Switch Pro. It's just, cross out the Nintendo. It's a Switch Pro. It's the Valve Switch Pro.
The Valve Switch Pro.
It really is. It has the dock thing. It's like, you know, people can make their own trailers of this thing. You know, their
Does
own
the dock
trailers.
come with it? Or is that an upcharge?
It's sold separately. And they don't know, they can't say for sure if it's going to launch, like if it's going to be available at launch. And I do kind of agree. I do think that's something important that they should have available at launch. But they did say out of the box, you can use any USB-C dock will work with this thing. So even if you don't have theirs, you can just have an existing dock. I don't know about the Switch dock.
That was my question. I was like,
I don't know about the Switch dock.
It looks too thick to fit in a regular one. Yeah. But look, if it was opened and not, you know,
I don't think you can plug in your phone into a Switch dock, right? You can't do that, right? I mean, it has a USB-C port in there, but you can't plug in your phone in the Switch dock.
I don't know. I kind of want to go find out. Give me 2 seconds.
No,
talk to the people.
Don't fry your phone, bro. Oh my god. He said, didn't they just say to use a USB-C to HDMI cable? Maybe. I don't remember, but they did say existing docks will work. And what they mean by that, okay, what I think from like the IT perspective, is a docking station. These things exist for PCs. Usually people in higher up positions want them because they give you a bunch of different ports. I think what they said is that so long as the USB-C dock has an HDMI out connection, you're good. You can probably use a USB-C to HDMI. Seahawks says, I wouldn't, since the Switch uses different voltages. Yes, exactly. That's why it's like, Zach, come back. Come back, Zach. Don't plug it in. It uses a different voltage. You're going to fry your phone. I warned you. Monty said the most interesting thing about this Steam Portable. It is fascinating. Legend said Nintendo was just beat at making their own console better. Yeah, really. And Monty said, yeah, it has Bluetooth. So you can connect an Xbox One, a PS4, or a Switch Pro controller to it, which is crazy. That's awesome. This thing, I think this is why I'm so excited about this. It's a standardized gaming PC in a handheld format that has everything you'd expect.
Test results are inconclusive.
Inconclusive? Okay, so for one, Seahawk said, hey, I wouldn't do that because the Switch uses different voltages. So, careful! I hope you didn't fry your phone. But yeah, I think the thing I'm really excited about this is, like, this is a device made by a gaming company. And what I mean by that, like Mandu said, it has Bluetooth, so you can connect an Xbox One, a PS4, or a Switch Pro controller to it. In the IGN video, they said he connected his Apple AirPods to it, so he can get the audio through that. It's like, this is a modern piece of tech. I cannot connect a Bluetooth headset, or I can't connect my Bluetooth headphones to my PS4, to my Xbox One, to my Switch.
So it's also not just is it a Switch that can run other games, it's a Switch that can run Discord while you're playing games.
Bro, this is a Switch that can run PC games in desktop mode. It's ridiculous. It's like, this is the PC gamer Switch, where it's like, you're not switching from, like, handheld to TV. You're switching from, like, handheld to desktop computer, you know? And you can do TV as well. They were showing that as well. It's like, these are things you can do. Just ridiculous. It can be plugged into your TV. So, okay, so the deck can be plugged into your TV monitor or even an old CRTV if you have the right cables, of course. That's the fun things about PCs and everything. When docked, the Steam Deck uses USB-C to carry, or USB-C port to carry the audio or the video audio input. Just plug in your peripherals or use an official dock and you're ready to go. So yeah, this is kind of awesome.
This is pretty cool.
So this is for PC people. You know, here's the important thing. This thing is actually for anyone. This is for anyone who has a Steam account. It is for anyone who went to Humble Bundle and bought way too many bundles of random games, and they gave you all these Steam codes. Okay, this is for... The amazing thing is that you're not just buying a Switch, which is like $350 and $60 for your one game. No, this is buying a Nintendo Switch and then $60 for your entire Steam game library. Which is crazy. No launch console has this kind of archive of games at the start, at launch like that. Obviously, this is not its own console. It's a PC is what it is. But the fact that it has your entire Steam library already blows me away. The fact that you can log into Game Pass and use this thing. The fact that you can install Windows on this thing or run Windows applications on this thing. You can stream Stadia through this. You can run EA's Origin. You can run Steam. You can run the Microsoft Store. God forbid you've ripped a ROM from an old CD, ROM game.
So let's think versus the Switch. We don't have Joy-Con drift.
That's a plus.
We don't have we do have access to Bluetooth headsets. Mm-hmm. You can chat with people natively via Discord or what other service you use. Mm-hmm. You have all of these non-Nintendo games. You
don't have to pay for online. I like that comment, Stinker.
Oh yeah, you don't have to pay for online. This is a big. I'm curious. Do you know what it outputs to the TV? Like, can it output 4K?
I definitely don't think this is doing 4K. Here, let's see. Doing tech specs. Let's see display, and let's see if for monitors, aspect ratios. Aspect ratio is 16:10. Type, optically bound LCD for enhanced readability. Okay, whatever. Connectivity. So this is
the built-in one, though.
Expansion, size, weight, software. I don't know what the output is. It's possible that... Oh, actually, to be clear, this thing can probably output to whatever your monitor is. It's a PC. I have a 4x3 over here that's like 12x10 or something like that. It'll be able to output to that size. It's just going to shape to your screen. 4K, you might be taxing the device, I don't see... Look, I just plugged this 4K TV. That's how I'm doing the stream. Because I have my 4x3 square monitor, which is only this big, which I could not do the stream on. I plugged in a 4K TV, and this works. As long as you're not taxing out your graphics card, You can go on 4K. Are you going to be able to run your games? It'll probably run like hot garbage at 4K, but I can swap this 4K TV to a 1080p, and it'll run with flying colors. So the outputs, whatever.
This is pretty wild.
Display.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was losing my cheese when I saw it, just because they standardized it. And specifically, the one thing that gets me out of this entire thing, it's $50 more than the Switch, and it's like 4 times more powerful than a Switch. And it's your entire Steam library. The price point is what gets me.
It is worth noting, though, we do not know how much that dock will be.
That's true.
I could see, you know, here, let me do this, because I think this is a good comparison.
Please do.
Microsoft Surface docking station. Let's see how much this is from the Microsoft store. Because that, I would say this dock is a little more $60. Clearly, that's a specific thing. It's got the Ethernet port and stuff built in, you know.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I think that is a very important distinction to make, because I could definitely see that dock being. I can't see that dock being 250, but I can't see it being less than 150.
Here's what I'd say about the dock.
I would be very surprised.
This thing is a little PC. Okay, it's a handheld PC. I work with docking stations all the time at work. Okay, and as they were saying, it's like, look, our dock might not be ready at launch, which, like, you can see in its little display. Okay, it's standing up like the Switch or whatever. But they said you can use any dock. Okay, which docking stations are they're normal things. They exist. I'd be careful about specifically that Microsoft Switch one, because it's the Surface, the Microsoft's Surface brand.
No, yeah, I forgot you could use it with any docking station.
Yeah, so it's like, well, that's the thing. They're saying it's like Steam Deck USB-C port can carry video, audio input. Just plug in your peripherals or use an official dock and you're ready to go. You can just plug in a USB-C, like Manu was saying, probably a USB-C to HDMI, probably be enough to get this thing functioning on a TV. So it's like, that's just a cable at that point.
That's true.
But worst case, docks do exist. So I don't know. I'm really excited about this, and they have a system in place. You do have to pay for your reservation, okay? And that's their way of combating scalpers. I don't know. They say they have some sort of system to help combat it, so you can hit that reserve, you pay for your position, and you're gonna get it at however their reservation system works. They also said, depending on the type of games you're playing and your output and your graphical settings that you set this thing on, you could be playing a game from anywhere from 2 hours to 8 hours. You know, just depends on how much you want to crank the settings to really push this thing. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have too much more to say about this. I'm just overall super pleased with this announcement. I'm glad there's someone out there who's bothering to essentially take Nintendo to task. No one's competing with Nintendo in a handheld space. You know, other than like, you know, the phone adapters and stuff, which they're cool. And trust me, I was raving about
We do have some slight rumors of a Microsoft version, handheld Microsoft system that'll basically be an Xbox Series S. Those are in the rumor phase still, but I would like to see, especially now that this is released, you know,
you say a handheld Series S? I heard a Game Pass player, you know, a cloud streaming device, like $100 thing that just has a good display and some good controls. I have not heard a handheld Series S. I know that thing's small, but can it get much smaller? I mean, clearly, look at this thing.
I just mean, you know, where you don't put in a physical disc when I say Series S.
Okay, it's all digital device.
Cloud streaming and emulation and whatnot.
I get you.
But yeah, so I'm very curious, you know, that I think it's an inevitability that we'll see a Microsoft system. And now, like you said, this kind of set the standard.
Yeah.
So, you know, what is Microsoft's going to look like? And, you know,
now,
their Elite controller is like $180, which, you know, people that seriously are like, it's worth it. But for me, I'm like, that's 3 games. that's almost another console.
Sure.
You know.
Trust me,
But,
I'm not a fan
you
of
know,
the super
this thing has built-in paddles.
Sure. I
So
think
it's like, yeah, this is very intriguing. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, and I keep saying this, and I'm constantly parsing more and more through my brain here. I think the thing I really like about this is the fact that it shows you what's possible at a certain price point. And you're talking about rumors of them making like a digital handheld device. This shows it's perfectly possible. They're playing Control on this thing. It's like, yes, you could make a handheld Xbox, have your entire Xbox library on this thing, and pow, this thing's going to be amazing. I'd buy that. And it's like, then I got to think, it's like if Microsoft came out 3 months from now and they said, here's our handheld, it plays your entire Xbox library, I would have to debate if I'm getting this one or my Xbox One. Because the Xbox, I have a massive game library. I don't have a massive Steam library. Shocking. But I personally don't have a super Steam library. So I'd actually have to debate. And like I said, this shows what's possible. Nick, the answer is simple, says Mondu. Yes, I know. I could play all the Xbox games. I know.
Mondu
right,
says this thing probably runs Cyberpunk better than the Xbox One or PS4.
Yeah, you're probably right. Oh my god. And actually, you're right, Mondu. Right here, it's like just install Game Pass on PC. On the Steam Deck, you know, and pow, we got this thing. You get Steam Machine because you can run Windows Store and xCloud, and you're totally right, Mondu. This is if Nintendo made the Switch Pro, Valve can come in here and just drop this thing and say, here you go, and then drop the mic. It's like, yes, it can play pretty much anything that thing can, and it plays more. You can install Windows. And that's literally all I ever needed. All right. I think we got to call it. I think this has been a great show. So, guys, thank you for joining us. Zach, of course, thank you for joining in short notice, joining me on this stream and being able to co-host it with me. I loved your takes, especially with the takes on this thing. You always have fascinating takes. Always. So, thank you.
Great to be here. Yeah, I gotta... Yeah. I never think outside of the box because I dropped the box when I was like 5 because I had some KFC popcorn chicken grease on my hands.
Oh my gosh.
So that box is just shattered. So I just think all over the place.
Oh my god, thank you for that. I also want to thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for your patience with getting this stream live. Like I said, I normally don't stream the thing, so I'm happy I was able to get things functional and get us on screen and everything and be able to do the show. And yeah, thank you for your patience. So, guys, please have a great night, and I will see you for Good Morning Gamer. Oh, and Pop Culture Cave tomorrow. So, later, people.
Oh, geez, that is tomorrow.
That is
Holy
tomorrow. Cow. And boop. And boop.